Hello there, welcome to the San Juan Islands. I'm Poplar Ponderosa, and I'm excited to start a new series showcasing a new map I built for City Skylines. We will be going over how the map was made and describing some of its features. In this video, I will introduce the real location the map was based on, talk a little about its history, and get into the terrain generation. The other videos will add outside connections, resources, forests, and props. Finally, we will playtest the map, make a few revisions, and add a few finishing touches. I will also recommend some themes that work well with the map. The map will be made available in the Steam Workshop when the final video has been published. It is important to note that the Mass Transit DLC will be required to play the map. Otherwise, no other DLCs or mods are required. Of course, you can use whatever DLCs and mods you want, and also any themes that you desire. Throughout the series, I will recommend a few mods that may enhance your experience with the map, but are not required. Before we jump in, I want to acknowledge some of the creators that have taught me a lot about how to play the game and have inspired my maps and builds. First, a big thank you to City Planner Plays for all the gameplay tips and planning lessons. Next is Yumble for your highway interchange tutorials and perspective on realistic builds. And $2.20 for creating great maps and cool builds. Alright, without any further ado, let's get to it. The San Juan Islands are located in the Pacific Northwest of the United States of America. The three closest major cities are Seattle, Washington, and Vancouver and Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. The islands lay between Vancouver Island and Washington State, with an interesting border history that we will get into shortly. I should say that I've not been to the San Juan Islands yet. However, I have visited some of the islands nearby, and I can tell you the region is beautiful. If you are not familiar with the Pacific Northwest, it has a temperate climate that gets a lot of precipitation, especially in the winter. The forests are mostly coniferous, abundant in pine, fir, and spruce, but are also home to maple, cherry, oak, and arbutus trees. The San Juan Islands have fertile land that supports a vibrant agricultural industry. The largest community and commercial center is Friday Harbor, located on San Juan Island. The population of the town is estimated to be around 2,500. There are no bridges to or between the islands. They are mainly accessed by ferry services from Washington State mainland and Vancouver Island, Canada. I also took a flight around the islands in Microsoft Flight Simulator for added inspiration. If you're interested, check out the video linked in the description where I fly an F-18 around the islands. In 1859, a conflict between the United States of America and the United Kingdom arose due to a boundary dispute. There was a disagreement about the border location due to conflicting interpretations of the Oregon Treaty of 1846, which established the 49th parallel as the boundary between British North America, now Canada, and the United States. The treaty did not clearly define the boundary through the Strait of Georgia, and both countries claimed sovereignty over the islands. The conflict in 1859 got its name from the only casualty, a pig. The pig belonged to a farmer that was part of the Hudson's Bay Company, a British-owned outfit that operated on San Juan Island. An American settler on the island claimed the pig was eating his crops, and eventually shot the pig. This eventually led to the buildup of troops on the island, and a military standoff ensued. Thankfully, the conflict was resolved peacefully through diplomatic means, and the islands were to remain under joint military occupation for several more years. In 1867, the Dominion of Canada was formed through Canadian Confederation, and in 1871, British Columbia joined Canada. And in 1872, the boundary dispute was resolved, and the islands were placed under control of the United States. Before we get into the map creation, I want to acknowledge this is not the first San Juan Islands map in the Steam Workshop. I actually discovered this after I had created my map. I've not subscribed to any of these, however, from the screenshots, it appears each is unique in its own way, and also different from the one I've created. That being said, I'm excited to share my interpretation of the San Juan Islands. Now, let's get this map started. Step 1. The height map. Here I'm showing how the height map was generated using this SkyDark tool. The standard map size is approximately 17 kilometers across, which is not large enough for our desired area, so I resized the map to 40 kilometers. Since some of the land is outside of the 25 center tiles, I recommend using the 81 tiles mod. Here you can see the latest version of the mod at the time of recording. Once we've exported our image file, we can open City Skylines and go to the map editor. I created this map with the base temperate theme since the San Juan Islands are located in a temperate climate, and to allow for a vanilla build, but you can apply any theme you like. Now we will import our image file to the map editor in City Skylines, and voila! Because the map is scaled down, this won't work for a 1-to-1 build. The height scale was adjusted to account for horizontal scaling, however, I have exaggerated the vertical scale to provide some higher peaks and more dynamic landscapes. Step 2. Just add water. Let's set the sea level and hit play to let it fill in. Next, I want to fill in some of the lakes with water sources. We need to find the appropriate water capacity for each source. This lake will feature a waterfall and will require some terraforming. That's enough for now, but later I will create more lakes and rivers as I terraform the map. Step 3. Terraforming. Now that the sea level has evened out, we can clearly see the coastline. Next, we need to smooth out some of the anomalies created by the height map generator and make the map more playable. During the terraforming, I'm going to take a few liberties with the landscape that will sacrifice some accuracy to the real world. We need to remember that this is a game and it needs to be interesting and playable. Not to mention, the map is already scaled down. I want to remove a few of the islands at the edge of the map. This will help clean things up and give more of an isolated feeling. I'm sorry if you live here or have some attachment to the islands I'm removing. I'm also going to try and continue to make the map a little more dynamic by adding more rivers and water bodies. I'll place this water source here, let the game run a bit, and fix it up later. Let's get back to smoothing out the landscape. I'm going to be flattening out a few areas and creating terraces or nice hillsides for future neighborhoods or transportation infrastructure. Again, we want to create a map that has spaces for us to make places. If you're not familiar with the concept of placemaking and are interested in urban planning, I recommend looking it up. It may change how you see the built world around you and could even help how you play the game. Step 4. I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. Jokes aside, adding sand is an important step in the appearance of the map. Now that we've finished most of the terraforming, it's time to create some beaches and make our coastlines look a little more realistic. Making beaches will require a bit of terraforming as well. I'm trying to make lots of small beaches and a few big ones. I will also wrap sands around the coast of every island to make it appear that there is a shallow coastline that drops off into deeper water. There are likely better ways to do this, but there is always more to learn. If you have any good tips, please add them in the comments. Alright, that's going to be it for this video. In the next few episodes, we will be building out our transportation networks, adding natural resources, including diverse forests, and placing props. Once it's ready, we can playtest the map. After the playtest, I'll take what I learned, then make a few revisions and finishing touches. At that point, the map will be ready to upload to the Steam Workshop. I hope you're as excited as I am to build on this map. I've been working on this for a while and look forward to hearing your thoughts. What did you like? Is there something you would have done differently? Would you build small towns here or a sprawling metropolis? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.